Look at that. Is that a little softer, a little easier?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mine's still going. Okay.
It is.
We're good. Hey, here we are. Episode 43 of Monday Night Live Chat. Real quickly, want to say thank you to our sponsors, windowcleaner.com, the greatest window cleaning equipment distributor on the planet, and Jobber. Jobber is a sponsor, the greatest CRM you can get for your business. Today, we are here with the window guys, Mr. Mike Nichols and his son, Zane Amerson, if I pronounced that correctly. So we are going to get to know Mike and Zane a little bit better. If you don't know them, you probably do if you've been on pro window cleaning or been in the window cleaning world for at least the past like 4 to 5 years. As far as that goes, you might have even bought some tools that are created right in the background of where Mike and Zane are now. And so we'll get right into it. You want to tell us a little bit about yourselves. If nobody knew you, introduce yourself.
If nobody knew us, we're currently sitting in the Midwest, but we work all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. Been cleaning windows for a long, long time. It's just myself and a couple of the sons, if you include NASA, 3 of the boys, and we've been working around here for a long time. Just cleaning glass, no pressure washing, no soft washing, just cleaning glass, and that's all. We do a lot of it.
Nice. And when did you get started?
I started in high school in cleaning windows in 1993, and worked with my best friend's dad at the time, and in Bella Vista, Arkansas. And thought, man, the guy was paying. I was making $4 an hour washing dishes at Pizza Hut, and I was making 65 cash a day just to help him, just to mop in front of him. And I was watching how much money he was making a day, and I'm like, man, there's something to this. And so I always just clean windows on either on the side, and then it turned into something I couldn't keep up with part time. So now it's turned into a full scale operation.
Nice.
And you started your window cleaning business back in the 1900s? Jeez.
The late 1900s. The late 1900s.
And you've kept it pretty just inside the family, right? As far as you never really had employees outside of family and done it mostly with your sons, correct?
I have had a guy years ago that worked for me for a long time, and but then it just kind of grew to just keeping it in the family and trying to stay that way. We're known for a family owned and operated business, so and people seem to really like that.
Yeah. Now, the full gamut of your business, are you mostly residential, commercial? I know you do some very large commercial buildings, probably bigger than most would do with water fed pool or feel confident doing, to be quite honest, from like a lot of your projects. But I think you've pretty much done everything except for high rise, right?
Correct. We do 4 and 5 story buildings. I just did a three, 4. Yeah, part of it's 4 story. Last week,
Nice.
big electric co-op building we do every quarter. But yeah, it's no, these boys, they can't handle that 70-footer for very long. But I do mostly all residential. Zane has a few of his own customers he takes care of, but Zane and his brother Noah run all of our route, commercial work, and then I do a majority of the residential, and I partner with a couple guys. There's a guy local in the area, another window cleaner. I found it's easier. We partner together. I've got a monster $1 million house next Wednesday, and we both just jump on it and tackle it. Last week, my good buddy Ewing Sharp was here for a week, and we did a bunch of big, large jobs, and he comes in for about 4 weeks out of the year when we do these big projects. And it's just easier to partner with a guy that's got a lot of know-how and his own equipment, and he starts over there, I start over here, and we work together and just kind of split things down the middle. And it's a lot easier than having to, in my opinion, have train a crew and all that. And you're showing up with 60 years experience on a job, and get it done quick. Get it done quick, quality work. I mean, we've got a lot of projects, or a few projects that other companies, and I'm not knocking the way a lot, other people do things, but when you send a couple young guys, to a big job off, and things aren't getting done correctly often, you don't keep that job for a lifetime. So we're able to come in with some experience and do a quality job and make a good paycheck. So
here's a question for you. When you're doing that, what do you pay? Not like actual numbers, but like percentage. What do you like to do when you're doing like a shared type thing like that? What's your percentage pay?
With a partner, I just split it down the middle. After expenses, we just split it, and and I'm coming out. I mean, we're both coming out at over $1,000, good income. So
nice.
I'm not working my butt off and having to hire and train young guys and pay workman's comp and pay, for them and payroll taxes and all that, because it's a subcontract when you hire another company. So,
yeah.
And Ewing, he's certified high rise and we've got some tie off work that he has to do on some 4-story stuff. So, and he's just great, and trusted friends. Really, it's worked well for us. Well for us.
Ewing is like very good at everything he does.
Literally.
Like I'll see where he posts about building the whole entire deck and staining it, and it just looks like pristine and perfect.
Yeah, right.
And he's very quiet on social media, but when he just does really awesome, like just little projects, it's like, man, this dude just knows what he's doing everywhere, which is not a thing that happens a lot.
No, and we met by accident, which there's no accidents, but
yeah.
And it's just meeting him 6-7 years ago has changed our whole business, because I was afraid of large buildings, and then just met him in a parking lot, and he was doing the hospital here, and he's like, give me his card. Hey, if you got any big projects you need help on, just let me know. And a week later, our biggest project guy calls like, hey, we would like for you to come, give us a price. And I had no clue what to do. And I called this guy, and it's just been a great relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, since then, and I mean, we tackle some big stuff.
Now you do with a lot of water fed work, mostly like delivery systems, not huge on like, portable systems, because you run a lot of, kind of transit size connect vans. And so what have you found for the benefit of that compared to maybe, some out there that will use carts and will use tanks and stuff? Because I know that you've really heavily got into that and pretty much just have every, vehicle set up with that. Kind of like a Tucker Fill and Go or something like that.
Right. I love an on-demand system, which I got a 50-gallon tank, and our water is amazing, like TDS of 50, 55. So we just have DI tank. I do have a Xero Pure Max Plus. Is that what I have?
Good job. Nice.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
He's got 50 TDS out of the tap. He's like, oh, I got the Xero Pure Max Plus though, just in case.
Doesn't never have to change a filter for like a decade.
we fill the vans up with it on Sundays. I do use that on those big projects because it's easy. I could set it up and set one of the boys up with it, and be able to run an extra pole. But the on-demand systems, it's where it's at because. Like with the route work, we do a lot of water fed route. Pull up, flip the switch on, start the corner, grab your hose and pole and pull out to the opposite corner and clean your way back to the van, roll it up, hand them a bill, and you're done.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot quicker.
Now, let me ask you more about that, because actually when it comes up on here a lot, as far as people doing water fed on route, a lot don't want to do it that way, but I know you've been very successful at it. So will you go around kind of in the mornings and
you can't be, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like with anything, you can't be in the way during prime operation hours. So, we have a lot of restaurants and stuff that, just an example, there's one restaurant that's and I'm trying not to name business names. I don't know if that's right or not, but it's by a college, and there's it's 45 minutes, traditional, just the outside. Now with an on-demand system, it's like 15 minutes, and it's routine. And what I did notice is that the glass dust state, like bi-weekly stuff, you show back up and like, man, this isn't even dirty yet. And so, but you get paid to clean it. But you're just not in the way during prime operating hours, so like your restaurants, you're there, you don't want to be in the way during breakfast or lunch or whatever. And we never do front doors, because even if it's outside only, I always clean the inside of the door. So right. I just grab a mop, throw a towel, mop, squeegee, clean the door, clean the inside door. And, but I never want to have water in front of the door, and there's not enough water to really, you're not pressure washing something. It's just, there's barely any water in the way. And so I have not had any complaints.
Nice.
And most people are amazed, like, what is that?
Right.
And so I think there's another company that had water fed in the beginning, and it's starting to pick up around here, but we were the kind of the first in the area that ever had water fed. So
nice.
That's a really good point, though, to talk about how, because I think that was always my biggest worry with doing water fed in storefronts. First of all, it was like, 6 months out of the year, I couldn't really do it because it was going to be too cold. But then I always worried about the amount of water just being, out there as far as that front door. But that's a very good point to put out there of just, doing everything but the front door, just so that water's not right there.
Right. Right. And I mean, what do you do when it rains? There's going to be water outside. I don't see it as an issue. I know some people have, but we've not had any complaints. So,
yeah.
And just to jump into the comments real quick, and Eddie S just said, "Who's the old man?" That is SteveO. This is his channel, so take a look there. And Bridgetown just said that he ordered a fill and go for his business. So you're already talking his language. So if you guys have questions, by the way, for any of them, please do ask away in the comments. It helps the algorithm anyway. But ask away. We want to rip questions out at you guys as fast as possible. So.
And then Zane, so you're doing a lot of storefront work as far as that goes. So do you combine traditional and water fed with that? And then I also know you're super, super good at also selling and getting a lot more jobs while you're out there. Tell us a little bit about that if you want to dive into that.
Yeah, my van is hooked up with an on-demand system too. And so I've kind of learned you kind of got to know when and where to use it, when it's efficient to go ahead and drag the hose out, and when it's quicker to just go ahead and put the belt on, But you kind of get into a routine of, okay, which jobs you can water fed, which jobs you probably shouldn't. And some people complain, oh, well, I don't want to put my belt on just to do a door or something like that. But, you know, you get in the habit of doing it and you realize it's just as quick and it cleans up a lot easier with no water in front of the door, no water accidentally spraying inside, something like that. But we've got a good mix of commercial clients where we will water fed. Sometimes if it's a storefront, hey, if it's quicker and more efficient to use water fed, I'm not against using water fed on a storefront. I know some people are, and that's okay. You know, we don't have to all clean the exact same way. As long as the window's clean, who cares, you know? But yeah, it's a lot easier to sell after he's built up a lot of our route. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you just you work your route and then you notice, hey, I'm already here in this plaza. Let's get these other 4, 5, 6 jobs. And instead of having to drive across town for a 30-minute stop, now you're driving across town for half a day's worth of work, making more money without having to leave. So just trying to work the way around what's the most efficient way of doing things. And you can only learn by just getting in there and doing it. You know, you can think about it a lot and try to plan it, but really just getting out there and really getting after it. That's how you're going to learn what's the most efficient way to do things.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So since you guys do water fit all the time, there's a question asked by Billy Bob. It said, can you talk about which brush is better? Now, I know you are into pad holders. That's a whole other thing we're going to talk about. But what's your go-to brush when you're doing like route versus houses?
If I'm doing route work, I actually have a reverse hybrid. I like that, but reverse hybrid for commercial clients, specifically like routine stuff. If I'm doing a house, I'll probably stick to a boar's hair brush with a zero contact scrubber attachment. But yeah, boar's hair for residential and hybrid for commercial for me.
Only hybrid?
Hybrid, reverse hybrid. I don't love a nylon.
That's fair.
No
That's fair.
What else? What else is available for commercial?
Yeah. What else?
We're gonna get to
Okay,
that.
all right.
Well,
Look, he's trying to get you to plug. He's like,
I know
come
he
on,
is.
say it.
Now let's jump right into it. So tell us a little bit about some of the products that you have made that are sold with windowcleaner.com. Maybe if you can dive even into maybe some of the products you were making before that, as far as not, you know, all the craziness, but just kind of, you've definitely kind of for the whole entire warehouse behind you is not only just about your business, but also some of the manufacturing you're doing for water fed attachments.
Well, for those big commercial buildings, I still use, it's pretty much a 20-inch. Do you say what it used to be? All right,
That's fine. Don't matter.
A Battle Cat for those large. I made a pad scrubber with a gooseneck for big commercial glass. And man, I fly through those commercial buildings because you're using walnut or a white pad in a 20-inch surface with a gooseneck, and so you got stability. That thing is not flopping on you, and you can cover some ground. And that's how it started. And then the Battle Cat come out of that, and it was around for a little while. But then I found myself using, because I do residential, I do use the Battle Cat, which is, you know, a rinse bar with a walnut pad, and I would do all the glass on a residential and have a hybrid in my back pocket, and get to the corner of the house and switch, put the brush on, and come back and clean all the frames and rinse everything. And it always come out immaculate. And I was in the boat one day and I'm like, well, how can I put a scrubby pad on the back of a brush? I know they make that stupid thing over in the UK that, you know, is $100 and some wing nuts. Like, there's got to be a way we can take these two things and work them together. And I actually called you. I remember I was on dirt road pulling the boat back home, and like, what parts do I need to attach, you know, this to that, and ordered some stuff and kind of come up with what is now the zero contact scrubber. And now that's all I use for residential. I still clean the frames. I flip it over, scrub the glass with the zero contact scrubber, then flip it back over, rinse it, and walk away confident. So
Yep, definitely. And it's definitely one of those tools that I remember using it when it first came out. And I believe this was, and you tell me if I'm right, but about You maybe came out with it right at the end of 2020, the beginning of 2021.
February.
Yeah.
WCR picked it up. It was open to the public February 2 years ago. So yeah.
Yep. Because I just always remember it because I remember using the UK attachment for so long, and then having that one, having the flushness of the plate go into the corners, especially on dirty jobs, and then also having it be able to just do this and stay flush with the glass as you go up and down was such a big change that, like, right when that happened, I told people, I said, if you can't get a job clean with a boar hair brush and then that on the back, then you just go traditional, because these two things are your best ways to get dirty jobs clean that you're going to use water fed on. Yeah. But yeah, I remember using that and just loving it from the beginning.
I appreciate that. It was a game changer. And the getting the underneath of a, like the second floor double or single hung, being able just to take that thing. And I always had issues with just a brush getting that underneath perfect, but not anymore.
Yep. There you go. And then originated out of that was the Xero Big Scrub. Xero Big Scrub became very, very popular, I would say, in about August of 2023. Yep. And actually you guys came along and helped tremendously with us at the huge convention. Mike and Zane are amazing. They went and got us drinks and everything, got us all ready. It was awesome having you guys there.
Amazing.
But the Xero Big Scrub was kind of introduced there. And I mean, it was crazy the amount of attention that we had with it. So was that more inspired by the storefront work or the commercial work?
Storefront. They're like, when we do storefront, like the hub, it's a whole city. Like I think it's next month. It's like a whole city block of buildings. And so the property manager, and actually there's a couple places like that. I mean, it's just a half a day, one spot doing building after building, but the glass is, you want to get into it, titanium dioxide coated, self-cleaning glass. I used fan jets. I know Jersey's a fan of the fan jets. Rinse bar, used everything, and I still would have some spotting because it was just so hydrophobic, and it was just to where I would traditional it. And even though it would take me so long to trad the whole, I mean, it's a city block of buildings, and 1, 2, 3-story buildings, but just kind of figured out that a magic eraser with water fed, it would come out. I would hot glue felt to magic erasers and put it on that Battle Cat and would clean it, and it would come out great. And so then found out that the waffle weave microfiber works just like a magic eraser, where you can buff out silicone and all that. So then I hand sewed a waffle weave towel into a pad and used it. And I was like, well, this works great. And then it's starting to rain.
It is raining. I don't know if y'all can hear that.
I hear a little bit. That's okay.
Nice.
It's not. It was supposed to have quit.
You guys are going to be sleeping in just a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But then Maker come out with their microfiber pads, and so I just made a kind of a version that would fit the Scotsman or the hedgehog size that would pivot, and I mean, it was all about that one job because it was so much glass, and every time I'd use a brush or something, it would just, some of it would just look bad, and you can't walk away from it. And so it come out of that, just that job. But then there's a whole slew of jobs that is that self-cleaning, the barber room,
all of the new construction is all that self-cleaning glass, really hydrophobic. Every time you use a brush, no matter how much you scrub, no matter how much you rinse, it just looks awful.
And then there was just something about that microfiber with pure water, and there's no spotting. It would just come out great. And I'm getting older, and I'm a big guy, and that low stuff, man, that XY pivot, just to be able to hit that low stuff standing up.
Oh yeah.
And for me, that's worth it. That's worth $100 right there.
Yeah. There you go.
But then after all that, come to find out that doing some research that the manufacturers of titanium dioxide coating recommends to use a soft cloth and water to clean self-cleaning glass and to rejuvenate the self-cleaning properties. And so I'm like, okay, that's why it works, because that's what they recommend and to clean it with. And so it come out of that, the pivot action. And I've got my own way of being able to do the edges in the middle and rinse, and just, even though I'm old and slow, it's still, you can fly through that stuff pretty fast because it just lays. And I know there's some concerns about the weight, but I like the weight because it sticks to it and holds to it, and you just use the weight to lift it up and let it fall and do your thing with it as it falls. So but it come out of necessity.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that's good.
Just kind of trial and error.
Well, we have a question here for you guys from Zachary Moran. What's your best marketing strategies?
Integrity. I mean, I don't have a website.
Oh, this is great, man. This is great because you have a very successful business, and yet you don't do some of the things that that Jersey and I will tell people that they should really, really do. And that's why I love having this, is because you see so many different ways that people have, made their businesses been successful like you have.
We've been around a long time, so we have a name, and never to be braggadocious, but we have a good amount of customers. People just love us for some reason, I get,
because you smell so good. That's what I heard. Just rumor. It's just rumor.
Yeah, but we get calls all day. We get calls every day. We had a business lunch today at Cheddar's, and
nice,
because it's been pouring down rain. Got a call and bid it over the phone, and gave a price. But I know that starting out, website and marketing, and you see a lot of yard signs, those things. Having a logo with shirts and hats and your vehicles wrapped, that draws a lot of attention. And people think we have a fleet. We only have like 3 vehicles out and about, and so I think we're bigger than what we really are.
Do you find your area to be like pretty saturated? Like when you're out, you'll see a lot of window cleaners, or?
No,
not really.
No. Yeah. We work with the other, we work well with the other guys.
Yeah.
There's a guy that's been in business 30 something years in the area, and he's getting older, and just like, hey, this house is too big. I gave him your number, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they keep handing stuff off to us. There's another company that we won't name that there's always that one company in the area. He's been great. They've been great for our business because
they're doing advertising for you.
Literally.
Accidentally.
So, people have a bad experience, and then they get somebody recommends us, and we come in and just do what you're supposed to do. And like, oh, you're the greatest ever. No, just cleaning your window. That's it.
Yeah.
But and we're in, civic club circles and all over in the community with things like that. So just build a brand and build a name, and know that people know that they can give you their house key or codes to their house and gates, and there's never been an issue. So
no, that's the best. Do you here's another question from Rexar Buckle One. Do you charge the same per window that you do trad, that you do water fed? Will you charge anything different?
Nope, no different.
Same price.
We got a set price. I love Zane's prices. you know, because back in the late 1900s, prices were different, and
Yeah.
and,
I think a gallon of gas back then was only like 20 cents or something when
Right.
you started.
You could
It
get a
was
Coke
like
for a nickel, and
80.
he's still trying to price that way.
88 cents, and the Coke was 50 cents for a 16-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew. Oh man, and candy bars were 50 cents.
It was $6 an hour. You already told us that. Yeah.
Just out of interest, what do you guys typically charge on the outside pane of a residential home?
Just a single hung, double hung is 14 in and out, and screens are $3.
There you go.
Don't even,
Yeah.
don't even, and that's high. And for our area, that's higher than everybody else.
Yeah.
So
Now, for some of the people watching this who are brand new to window cleaning, do you, on your quotes, will you itemize out everything, or will you keep it pretty streamlined? Hey, here's the inside and out. Here's the outside only. Choose what you like.
I do inside, outside, and screens optional, you know, and that's, and something I learned from another great window cleaner out of Florida. I always write general window cleaning, because if there's hard water, stain, paint, that's not included. So
Yep.
that saves me. I've never had that. I had that issue a couple times years ago, but it's never been an issue since.
I think that's one of the number one things that come up is, especially with newer window cleaners, is you get on a job and you think, oh my gosh, I need to make everything look perfect. And I think that's some of the main questions that, you know, me and Jersey get. And now Zane being a sales rep as well, you know, you get these questions of, how do I get all this hard water off these windows? Well, did you talk to the customer and are you charging them for this? Oh, no. This is just part of the price that I offered. Well, you're going to be there for a lot longer. You're not going to make a very good hourly rate if you don't let the customer know and try to charge for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to mop it, squeegee it.
Yeah.
That's what you get. But you know, I have done some like polish, you know, stain removal and all that, but I don't let anybody know because I don't want to do it.
It's like bidding out a gas station or a C-Mart where you just don't give them the inside price because you're like, I don't even want to put it out there. I'll tell you what the outside price is, but I'm not moving pallets of soda.
Another term I use is moderately accessible. That's a broad term.
Oh,
Like on interiors, whatever is moderately
tell us more.
accessible.
Moderately
more about
accessible. That's your golden ticket. It means anything you want it to mean. It means I'm not moving pallets of soda. It could also mean I'm not moving this one can of soda. It's just moderately
That's right.
accessible.
This
That way,
porcelain goose, I'm not touching it because
Yeah.
you're going to tell me it's worth. I had some lady one time, one of my guys like knocked it with a pole and broke this like perfume bottle of like, no, it was this like nothing. She's like, that was my great grandma's and it's valued at $4,000. No, it's not. It still had like the Hobby Lobby sticker on the bottom, lady.
Right.
Now, this is a super random question because you guys are such wholesome
I
guys.
haven't had too many incidents in the years. But
Yep.
I'm letting you know all my secrets. General window cleaning, moderately accessible. Write it down. If it's in writing, they can't, you know.
You're taking notes, people. If you're watching, taking notes.
Yep.
You're learn from a guy who started his company in the 1900s.
The late
the late
1900s.
I mean, I guess
Before Kate.
technically.
Hey, the 80s was the best decade. Yeah.
The 80s? Yeah, you remember it or no?
I wasn't around the whole 80s because that's when I was born, but I could see it.
Are you guys going to be at the huge convention this year? Zane will be. Yes.
I
Yes,
think
we
so.
are.
Yeah, I'm his
Nice.
driver. Well, yeah.
I was about to say, I hope we're going to be there. To my knowledge, we're going to be there. But
Great.
Zane's fancy AF. He's got a driver.
hey,
He's
you
a
know,
man.
He does all the driving. I sleep.
you know,
He's
you
gonna
get
be making sales on the way here while his driver. You know.
you get big balling like me. You get people to drive for you and
There
all
you
that
go.
stuff. You know?
I just
You're
like
just-
to drink coffee with John Lee at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
because he.
Please
was
tell
born-
us about what did you have with you at the huge convention. There's tons of places you can get coffee, and I stroll up one morning and what was this thing that you had that was like from the 80s, your coffee maker?
It's a percolating coffee pot.
Percolating coffee cup.
Yeah, there's a plug-in. I'm not paying $6 for a cup of coffee when I, drink a pot every morning. So I bring my own coffee pot, and me and John Lee, we have a good time. So
That's the guy that wakes up at like 4 a.m. and he's
you
ready
guys
to
get up,
burn, ready
about
to
3
go.
hours after we've been there. Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Stroll in. I grab my Cinnabon. I get my Starbucks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
My tall boy can of chemicals that'll wake me up.
Yeah, get the orange monster. That's my coffee.
I like the Milanis. Those are good.
Milani's. Oh, the energy drinks?
Yeah.
I've been obsessed with Ghost lately. Have you had any of the Ghost energy drinks?
I have not.
It's crack.
It is like
Anyways.
punch you in the taste buds. It's like
So
drinking a can of paint.
So good.
Yeah. I'm good.
I have a really good question for you guys, and this comes from Billy Bob, and he's been asking this question about 3 times. So you have to you have to answer it, which I know you may not have an answer for it. But so on this show, since we've started this, we've had a lot of door-to-door stuff that comes up. I don't think you guys do door-to-door just by knowing you, but what would be your door-to-door pitch if you had to? Now, this could be in the same way that you sell route, right? Like, we don't really consider selling route as door-to-door. We consider that kind of cold calling on businesses. So maybe you integrate it into that. But if you did do a door-to-door pitch, what would you do?
Route or residential? What was it?
For route, I mean, I guess we technically have door-to-door, but what would be our pitch for residential door-to-door? Mine would be something like, I know I'm trespassing, please don't shoot. That's what I would say.
I'm sorry for ruining your day, but the people on TikTok told me I
unannounced.
need to do this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You don't go to somebody's house unannounced in this area.
I would say I'm different because I clean the actual windows and sills and frames. That would be my pitch, probably. No, but I'm not doing door-to-door on residential. I'm good on that.
We had the solar, the solar salesman come by, and I hid from him the other day.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you.
Never has anybody ever been happy that some stranger shows up at the door
No.
like, hey!
No way.
And these people of TikTok, they like get this thing in their head that that's the way that they're supposed to do it. It is absolutely awful. Sorry,
You better tell me you're coming to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're like, oh, you're selling, fresh baked cake. Oh, well, I still wouldn't be happy about you just showing up. So,
Okay, so this goes right into it, though, is that they would love to know what is your preferred way to try to sell route. As far as like, let's say, Zane, you're going into somewhere and you're already on your route. And I think you made a great point earlier in that a lot of the people that ask about route think, oh, wow, so you're driving around a town like 30 minutes to one job, 45 minutes to another. No, it took you a long time to build it up, and that's how it goes for that. But, you're in a shopping center and you see a new salon open and you say, okay, hey, I'm going to go try to get that job. What would you do to try to go get that job?
I think it depends on what season you're in your business. Like, for example, for us, we're very blessed where we've got a lot of stuff built up, and we're kind of to the point where we're not necessarily as hungry for work because we don't need every single job. You know what I mean? So with that being the case for us, you can kind of pick and choose. Like, if I am in a shopping center, instead of me saying, hey, I need to get every single job in this shopping center, I can kind of narrow it down and say which jobs are going to be the easiest and the quickest. Then I can kind of narrow it down and do that.
The most paying.
Yep.
Yeah. Which one can I do the least amount of work and get the most amount of money for? But
I agree.
efficiency.
Yeah, exactly. Typically, one of my best pieces of advice that I'll tell to people is, and especially starting out, people always ask, like, when I go into a business, like, who do I need to talk to? What can I do to get these really big restaurants? What can I do to get every McDonald's in town? Blah, 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 blah. And I always say, hey, especially starting out, target small locally owned business like coffee shops, barber shops, salons, something like that. Because if you go into a McDonald's or a Wendy's or something and you say, hey, I'd like to clean your windows, you're going to get hit with some 17-year-old working the register who, one, doesn't have the power to hire you, and two, doesn't even care. So that's why I say target these small barbershops, salons, tattoo shops, whatever, because the chances that you find an owner or a manager, someone who has the power to hire you, is going to be there all day long because it's their small business. And when I can get in point with contact with someone that I need to talk to, depending on what season of business we're in, it can be different. Sometimes it can say, hey, you need me more than I need you. Your windows are filthy. Look at all the other shops next to you. Here's what we can do for you. Or if you're at a different season where you need to kind of compete, what's your unique selling point, they say. But
USP.
really, like, what sets you apart? Why should I choose you over the 8 other companies in town that do the same thing? You know what I mean? So it kind of changes depending on what you are needing in your business, I would say. But I've had a lot of success just with going into, like I said, smaller, locally owned places, talking directly to a manager. Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. And I already do it every week right next to you. So you might as well get on too if you want to look like everyone else does, you know?
Yep. When you go in there, do you like shake your curls around like your hair?
Yeah,
hey,
I do.
I'm here.
Oh,
and they're like,
great.
oh, what are you selling?
I was looking at myself in your dirty window and realized it needs to be cleaned.
Girls
That's
get
what
the
I
girls.
said.
That's what
That's
I
right.
was told.
Hey.
I haven't done route in
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what I do remember is because you're traveling the same,
Right.
doing the same locations week after week, and I would always watch like new construction go. We don't do new construction, by the way. Anyway, I'm done with that. But I just hate it. But that's different. But I would watch like Tacos for Life being built, and would go in there every week and end up finally. There's one person that decides yay or nay for that, and you just got to happen to hit the right person at the right time. Yeah. And so you just got to. Going through doing route, I'd always they're getting ready. New business opening soon. There's one next to Domino's getting wing. Right. The wing place just opened. We got to go in there. It's right beside Domino's. And so so you just watch as places are getting ready, and right before they open, go in, go back in, and just kind of keep an eye out of what's being built or opening up already in the area that you're doing, and just be aware of what's going on in the community.
Yeah.
Stay resilient too, because you can go into a place and they're like, no, we have somebody. And then everybody goes, oh, well, I guess we don't. And then if you don't ever follow up or stay with it, then they will mess up. If it's the other people that are in your town, a lot of times there's good ones out there, but there's a lot of ones that are bad. And like you said, they just basically give you the work.
Yeah. Right. It just takes one thing. You could have someone who every week you go by, hey, just check in. Here's a card, blah, blah, blah. Hey, we got somebody. Hey, we got somebody. And then the one time that those guys showed up late or did something wrong, then you're always right there. Who do they have in their mind? Who do they know is going to be around? And it's you. So that's easy.
Did you ever notice too, when you walk into a store and you're like, hey, I'm here, I do window cleaning. As soon as you say that, they go, and they like look at their windows behind you, like over your shoulder. Yeah. I mean, they always will look at it, and they always look bad at some point. So it's timing.
Every time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, doing like storefronts for so long, how often are you usually raising your prices on these storefronts, would you say? I know I kind of go off of like an every 2 years at least has to be 10% of raising your prices. But what have you found, in your time of doing it to be the kind of the best system for that?
It's about the same,
right?
Every 2 years.
Yeah. We last year just raised. I don't think we lost anything either, did we?
No, we didn't. Yeah.
And some of them we've been doing for a while and really had to jump up prices, and no one really balked at it. And you're always nervous, like, oh man, I'm going up $10 on this job. And like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's that easy.
Yeah.
But I let Zane do the bidding, because like today we did a good one today. And it's a new store that opened up, and sometimes I'm like, man, I can't believe he gets these prices.
Well, and it's like I said, it just has to do with what season we're in business. And right now, hey, if we're not gonna we don't want to just scrape by on a job. Like, we want to profit off of a job.
Yeah. We're a for-profit business.
Yep, exactly.
We are. That's another thing to keep in mind, is you are a for-profit business. There's 3 things I gave you today that will help you.
Write them down.
Yeah. I fired a guy because I was a for-profit business and he wasn't making any profit. So,
hey,
if I was doing this as a charity, I would find something better to do that would be more fun than doing something just for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, let's see here. The big thing you guys mentioned when you're talking about like your routes and stuff, I always notice you guys get a lot of these larger like restaurant chains that a lot of people do have issues getting, such as like Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's. I don't know if you guys do any Starbucks, but I wouldn't be shocked if you did.
I don't think Starbucks.
yeah.
I did the new construction on Starbucks years ago, but they don't. Nobody cleans their windows.
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
here.
But like places like McDonald's, I know for me, I hit them up for a decade straight. I never got them. It was the most impossible thing. And so if you were to look at a really impossible kind of job like that to get for some, what would be a couple key things that you would say would help to get something like that secure?
Man,
I know you've had a lot of your time in your area too, you know, so that might be a big part of it. But
like the Taco Bell, KFCs, it was just knowing people, and people. It was just knowing the right person. And we started doing one that was out of the area, and she paid us double for that for you, and so it was worth our time. And so it started out with one store, and then that store turned into, we've been doing that for 15, 16 years at least.
Yeah.
But it started with one store, then it opened up to a lot of other stores. And McDonald's, I don't even remember how I got McDonald's.
they're so hard to get.
Things were different back in the 90s, you know.
The 1900s.
But then that, you know, like an area manager from Taco Bell went to Whataburger, and so then hired us to do, you know, Whataburger because we were his guys.
Yeah.
What else? Nice. Subways was a lady come out, she was not happy with her current guy and just got a card. And it was a few months later, we were cleaning a pizza place next to Subway, and she come out, got a card. A few months later, she just texted me and said, "Hey, do all of our Subway stores." And I'm like, which one? Which one? She goes, all the ones in the in the phone book.
Oh, there you go.
Just so if anybody
So
out
old,
there,
dude.
yeah,
if
1900s.
anybody out
Like,
there
no-
watching and doesn't know what a phone book is, it's where like it was like Google but paper version of Google.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sorry, some people didn't.
So, and you know, that guy, I don't think, what's his name? I don't think he does Windows anymore, but he was awful. He was really awful. Yeah. It was just, you know, you got a full size window and he would squeegee the middle, and it was just so awful.
You just spot cleaning.
Yeah. And for years, and it had so much built. Anyway, they had an inspection and got written up for the windows, and he had left like an hour before the inspection.
Wow, that's not good.
Subways, tacos for life, just walking in when they were being built and finding, and it was actually a manager who used to be at a KFC Taco Bell who moved to Tacos for Life, and he knew us from there and hired us on the spot. Domino's, it was somebody we knew.
Yep.
And it was a guy we knew, and the other company made him mad. You know,
They helped us out, man. They do a ton for our business.
they broke a pizza sign, and called him and said, or he called them and, "Hey, your guys broke a sign." Like, no, they didn't. And he's like, "All right, you know, you could have just apologized and still had the job, but now we have the job, and they've opened."
Well, it's weird.
Gazillion new Now we do, I don't know, 100 Domino's.
Oh, wow.
Or not 100, you know.
Yeah. Feels like it though.
Yeah, it does. What other restaurants we do?
We do
Firehouse Subs. That was another window cleaner in another part of the state, working with other window cleaners, and he did the Northwest Arkansas Firehouse Subs, and recommended us to do the ones in this area. And it's just knowing people and working well. Work well with other people, and don't be a jerk. How about that?
Yep. I have it the same thing in my area, as far as I've known other window cleaners to lose jobs, and then like say I get a call for the job and I go, and that customer will complain about the other window cleaner, but then like I call them joking around like, "Can you believe what they said about you?" And window cleaners that have been in the area for like 40 years. I know they didn't do anything bad, but maybe they bent one screen just a tiny bit and the customer's like, oh, no more. You get a new company. And then all of a sudden you make a post, oh, I got a new account. And all of a sudden that window cleaner calls you, be careful at that account. This can happen or that can happen. So it is very nice to be networked in with like a bunch of window cleaners, because it's funny. I was with a bunch of window cleaners this past week and celebrating retirement for my old partner. And
I saw that.
How many different jobs we had all done at different times of life, and we were all there talking about it. Literally, one of the window cleaners that was there cleaned my parents' home when I was like 8 years old, and he never told me until just this weekend. Man, and I never ever knew that. But I remember window cleaners being there, and that was my first ever thought of what window cleaning was. And I never knew it was him until literally this weekend. So like things like that happen. And, that's like before my time of ever really cleaning, but you just get so networked in with the local people. It's crazy.
What's creepier, that he did that or that he didn't tell you, but still somehow remembered that like 30 years ago he did. He was like, I remember you.
Yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. But I mean, to hear that was like, that's just insane, as far as just how much stuff you've all done in one area over a period of like 30 years. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I've got some houses that, there's a guy, Steve, and we're friends. We talk,
all the time. Yeah.
At least once, twice a month, and just catch up on things. And he'll warn me about certain customers, and I'll, there was a customer he had warned me about not too long ago. And he'd give me a bank, and I ran into him and, hey, I'm going to go bid this house. And he said, it's not so-and-so, is it? I'm like, yeah. He said, you need to run from that. And I did. And then the guy that does some pressure washing and all that, he called me like, hey, this lady needs windows. Like, no, I'm not doing it. I said, I've been warned. And he goes, oh, but he got all excited about that big job, and then ended up having to like file like a lien because she wouldn't.
Oh my gosh.
Pay and it was a fiasco for him. So it's nice to network and help each other out. So, but I've done some houses and come to find out that Steve used to do them. He goes, she was difficult anyway. I don't want to mess with her. But and I've had people, hey, you got a card? And I'm like, yeah. And we have so-and-so do our windows, and I'll grab my card back. And I'm like, no, Steve is my friend. And I don't want to take any of his work. He's a good dude and a good window cleaner. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And I've done that a bunch of times. And so, we just, watch out for each other.
Yep. I'm the same way in my area. If I know that there's certain neighborhoods that I just know that window cleaners kind of control, and window cleaners that I respect. And if I get a quote in that area, I'll literally tell the person, sorry, like I would love to do it, but that's this guy's area. Just let him know. He'll get you fit in. Like there's no reason for me to come down there. Or I've also had times where you get reached out to by, some of these, nationwide janitorial companies that want you to bid on a certain restaurant, and your buddy's doing all the restaurants, and that once you get in there, if your price is maybe a little lower, all of a sudden you're going to get all those jobs. So I always just say, hey, I already know the guy that's doing it in our area. So here you go. It's going to be real easy just to link up the billing and keep that all unison in one company. And so, it's big to be like that, because I even know, and I apologize if I mentioned this, but like, how some window cleaners will put business cards like on your storefronts or different stuff like that, and try to get your work. But stuff like that happens, and it's annoying. And sometimes, maybe they don't know any better, but it's nice to be.
Some of them do know better.
Some of them know way too good, and they still do it.
Yeah. I'm like, I can do it cheap. That guy, I've had customers like they're talking bad about you, and I keep telling them no, and they won't leave. And anyway, so I've got ill feelings and I need to repent. But there's always that one guy, just that one guy. Sorry. All right. Yeah.
No, you're good. So I have one question. I kind of warned you guys about this question before when I asked you guys to be on here. And so what has been your business biggest success, and what's been your biggest fail? And we're just talking more about like window cleaning business wise.
I don't know. For me, like the biggest success is just having it as a full-time job. Like as simple as that sounds, but like the whole time we were growing up, he would clean windows and we would go out with him apparent like just occasionally. And it was always, dude, I have to go clean windows today. This sucks. I don't want to do this. And so like never had it on my radar, never had it as something I ever wanted to do. And then everything worked out. Just so much crazy stuff as far as like not getting into the college I wanted to, or getting fired from a different job or something. Everything aligned to where window cleaning is what I ended up doing. And honestly, what I am supposed to be doing. And so just being able to have really a career and to be able to help out in the family business, even though it was not something I ever intended to do, that in itself, even though it sounds simple and it's not really the best answer as far as a great success, but that's what I would say. Just being able to carry on the family name that has been in this area for 30 years and now being able to just be a part of that when I never thought I would is a good success in my eyes.
Yeah. Awesome.
I know something that we're trying to fix currently is, I've been old school with invoicing and we have a new bookkeeper lady, great lady, started the first of the year and got kind of getting things lined up. And once she gets comfortable, trying to change some things where we're more automated with payments. And like I fought doing credit cards for a long time, but now it's like I would rather pay the fee to get that invoice paid. And so I want to be like paperless where it's all email, QuickBook mobile, just or whatever. And just because the invoicing and all that kind of has been messy at times.
Yeah.
And if do a job, you're like, oh, they didn't pay me and it's been 3 months, and I'm just finding this out. That's been a struggle because you're always going. And then the paperwork part or whatever is not my strong point. And so
Never fun.
yeah. And we have sales tax and all that mess. And that's a good word, but
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's just, there's a lot of, we need to be better with automated and keeping track of our customers and so forth. And I've got like an Excel spreadsheet, and
Yeah.
just kind of go off of it instead of, and I know there's helpful things out there to make it easier. And I fought it for too long, and just finally getting to the point where, well, we're not in the late 1900s anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
There's all these things available to make my life easier, and I need to use those. I need to benefit from those.
Take some time off of your evenings of not having to do that kind of stuff, or maybe, I know you guys are always busy now with, manufacturing stuff as well, but it also just helps take away some of that time on the weekend of sending invoices or just, putting that all together. So that's a nice part to have.
Yeah.
Nice. So that was your biggest fail. What would be your biggest success, Mike? I wouldn't even call it a fail, by the way. That's just something you're working on.
Struggle. It's a struggle. It's
You're
always
a failure, Mike.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. Sounds horrible.
No.
I'm so sorry. I'll buy you a meat plate. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yes.
Sign me up. I think the biggest, I don't quit. I don't give up. Like starting out, I would go door to door for storefronts. If I didn't have work, I've walked every main street in our area and been to every business and talked to people, and you get a lot of no's, but just being, a lot of people start and it doesn't become a success real fast. And it doesn't always happen like that. It takes a long time to get things built up. And so I haven't quit, you know, and I don't have quit in me. So I'm always thinking of something else, something new. But I just never give up, you know, just,
Yep.
you know, tomorrow's a day, you know, maybe nothing happened today, but tomorrow I'm going to try to make something happen. So a lifetime of that, you know, you just can't give up, you know, and we have an age where everything is so accessible. So it, you know, social media portrays, you know, a different image than reality a lot of times.
Right.
And you think, well, I can become a millionaire window cleaner going door to door because TikTok told me to. No,
Right.
you're gonna have to work at it.
Right.
And I'm not afraid of work. I'd rather work than do paperwork. How about that?
There you go. Awesome. Now that was great. We are towards the end of the show. Is there anything else you all would like to share? Zane, as far as Zane is actually WCR's newest sales rep. So let everybody know how they can get a hold of you as far as that goes.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, Zane the Window Guy. I've seen a couple people in here that I've seen on Instagram and TikTok, stuff like that. You can reach me at my cell. Call or text me anytime, 862-220-4607. And yeah, I'd love to be a rep and put in some orders for you.
Awesome. And Mike, what's your phone number? No,
I have yours.
I know.
And you never block me.
Luke the window cleaner says, I love you, Mike.
I love Luke. I miss Luke.
I know.
If you guys are in the chat, by the way, make
I
sure
miss
to
Luke.
click the
He was
heart
so-
button if you love Luke, or not Luke. If you love Zane or Mike, by the way, just because a lot of people have been throwing hearts in, and I know it's for you guys, so that's pretty rad.
Nice.
I would like to say quickly that I really appreciate the support in our industry. WCR, SteveO, all the guys, and you know, there's been a lot of good relationships through you know, just so, you know, Facebook and all that. And man, I really appreciate the support. WCR has been good to our family.
Yep.
Like my family's employed not only through window cleaning but because of WCR.
Yep.
And it's just been a great honor, and I really appreciate. I'm thankful for. I'm humbled and thankful for just guys buying a scrubber or something. It's really made a huge difference in our family, and I'm thankful for that and appreciate that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, that's awesome. Jersey, do you have anything else to share before we go?
I do. Thanks for all the hearts, by the way. Keep giving the hearts, thumbs up, everything. If you guys love Zane and you love Mike, they're just absolutely amazing people. So do that. By the way, this is SteveO, the Window Cleaners YouTube channel. Please subscribe. A lot of you are not subscribed, and it costs you absolutely $0 to do that. So make sure to subscribe. He's just a small YouTuber just trying to make it through the world. So make sure to do that. And if you haven't yet, go and get yourself an American Window Cleaner magazine. The entire magazine has gone through a revamp. It's a completely new design, new everything. So please go do that. Go to awcmag.com. And again, if you guys need anything put in order-wise, you're looking at some of the greatest reps in all of the history. You got Zane, you got SteveO. These guys are here willing to help you at any time and all time. So please do utilize it's all at your fingertips. So
yes. Alrighty. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we will have another special guest, Alex, for that episode. And so just 2 weeks away, and we will see you guys next time.
Nice.
Peace.
No web.